Okay, we got a brand new update for Ghost of Yōtei and a ton of brand new information from a state of play dedicated to the game. Hello everyone, yes, I'm alive. Sorry that it's been so long since I uploaded again to this second channel. I've just been waiting for some of these bigger games to have some content for me to cover. And hey, if you're new here and you don't know what we do, well, my name's Caboose. I have another channel where I cover superhero games, and here is where I'm going to be covering all sorts of games that I'm looking forward to, one of them being Ghost of Yōtei. Hitting that thumbs up button would show your support, and also share your excitement for Ghost of Yōtei with me, and subscribe to the channel if you're looking forward to Ghost of Yōtei and all sorts of big blockbuster games coming out this year and beyond. But okay, let's jump into everything you missed from today's state of play. The first thing, and it's actually the reason why Atsu in this game is known as the Ghost of Yōtei, and it's because it's based on Japanese folk legend. The people of Ezo in this game consider Atsu to be an onryo, as she is a ghost hell-bent on revenge. Whereas in Ghost of Tsushima, Jin Sakai was known as a ghost because, well, he was being an assassin, really. He was hiding in the shadows. I find it extremely interesting that they brought a brand new, unique narrative purpose to the name of this franchise. And, well, the people of Ezo are not very far off. Atsu is definitely hell-bent on revenge against the Yotei 6. This has already been confirmed, but they did once again showcase that there is a gameplay mechanic in Ghost of Yōtei where you can go and visit your past with the push of a button. Obviously, to showcase the PS5 and its capabilities, it's an instant load and you become your younger self and explore Atsu's origins. In Ghost of Yōtei, they are trying to really give player freedom, and one of the ways that they're going for that with the open world is through the system where you can interrogate people, enemies that you take down, and you can ask them for either information about the Oni or the Kitsune. And depending on the kinds of clues that you want to uncover in the open world, you're going to have different experiences on your trek across that open world. If you want to learn more about the Oni, you're going to get some more samurai-like battles. If you want to learn more about the Kitsune, you're going to have some ninjas that are stealthy. And as you're trekking across that open world and taking down all sorts of enemies in your hunt to find the Yotei 6, well, your bounty goes up. And from the way that they explained it, as your bounty goes up, you're going to face off against more and more difficult enemies. What I wonder, though, is that going to be something you really have no control over whatsoever? If I were to approach certain sections in a bit more of a stealthy manner, in a way that didn't seem as loud and something that would make as much noise, would it make it so that the world around me isn't as aware of what I'm doing? Or is it just, yeah, no matter what, the amount of people that you slaughter makes it so that, well, people are going to start noticing, and that's going to increase the difficulty of the game. There are now bounties that you can accept in Ghost of Yōtei to try and further your quest in finding and hunting down the Yotei 6. These bounties are apparently as well a good way to make some money in the open world. I also wanted to point out that there were several moments in this state of play and through the actual trailers that we have gotten so far for Ghost of Yōtei, where you can see from a fixed camera angle Atsu unsheathing her sword. From what I can tell, this seems to be the exact cutscene that plays every time you're about to enter a duel. It's just cinematic as hell, and she's aura farming, man. The state of play also had little blurbs that would pop up text below that would give us some hints about things you can do within the gameplay. It mentions that if you're actually going down a steep slope, you can just slide down it to descend very quickly. We also have that same mode of traversal from Ghost of Tsushima with the hook, so I'm glad to see that that's back. And while we see Atsu using her hook, there is a little bit of text below that mentions that you can follow golden birds to take you to places of interest. This is something that's returning from Ghost of Tsushima as well. One of those things that you can find in the open world through the golden birds are altars of reflection. Now, when you use these altars, you're actually going to be able to unlock new abilities for Atsu. We got a brief glimpse as well of the skill trees in Ghost of Yōtei, and by the way, the UI is just excellent. But we can see under the growth section, there are several different things to choose from, whether it be your core skills, your onryo skills, your melee, revenge, or wolf skills. Within the state of play itself, the onryo skills were selected, and under it, you can see there are skills for attacks, assassinations, and survival. One of the attack skills you can unlock is the perfect parry, which you might remember from Ghost of Tsushima, and another one being the disarm counter, which apparently allows you to disarm your enemies. And if you are looking to skip the whole exploration part and you don't want to have to try and find everything in the open world on your own accord, well, you can always go to a cartographer and just buy yourself a traveler's map. And the way that it seems to work is you can just get this large square you can place anywhere on the map that will then show you what's within that area. If you really want to get into the exploration of just discovering things on your own, well, now you have a spyglass in the game. You aim in with that scope and look around for something you want to explore, tag it, and head on your way. I really do love that Ghost of Yōtei is trying to push the idea that you can play this game with complete freedom. There is no set golden path, just play it how you want. And as we get this absolutely gorgeous view of the open world looking so beautiful, there's a bit of text that mentions that flower streams actually give Atsu a boost. I really love that these games have this whole concept of here's this cool thing we know you're gonna do, and you can actually get some form of a benefit out of it. We then get a quick little montage, some little side activities you can do in this game. One of them does involve some painting, it looks like, and another one had Atsu flicking Mon, and I believe, from what I've done a very limited research here, so I might be wrong, but I believe this is a Japanese game known as Ohajiki. Within the context of this game, it looks like they've set a bunch of coins on a table, and the idea is that you need to flick one coin into another without hitting other coins, just the one you wanted to flick. You can slice some bamboo in this game as well. We remember that from Ghost of Tsushima, and the hot springs have also returned. They also confirmed a ton of different weapons that you can use in Ghost of Yōtei. One of them is your good old-fashioned katana, which is nice to have. Then you have a spear, a kasuragama, which you might remember if you played a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's also the odachi, which is kind of like a longer blade, and the one that I know we're all really excited for, the dual katanas. I mean, that is just so sick. Shortly after they talked about all these different weapons, we can see once again that same shot I'm talking about of Atsu unsheathing her sword, this time in the rain with some lightning in the background, and then we get a quick glimpse of her slicing through an enemy. Now, you might remember that sometimes in Ghost of Tsushima, when you would approach an enemy camp or just come across random enemies in the open world, sometimes they would want to fight you. They would want to duel you. If you accept the duel, then you both kind of stand there with a fixed camera and wait for your opponent to attack. Sometimes they'll try to bait you out, but if you actually slash as they're going to hit you, you'll kill them instantly, which in this case, that's exactly what we're seeing in the gameplay. In fact, Atsu cut the freaking guy's arm off. From here, we just go into some raw gameplay, and there are quite a few moments that I had to pause to really take in. One of them being the fact that it looks like in Ghost of Yōtei, they're ditching the different stances. And instead, what you do in this game that's unique and different is, well, you have those different weapon types that you can switch to on the fly. So we can see that really quickly, Atsu switches from dual katanas while she's fighting a group of these enemies to her spear. And although there is a skill for you to be able to disarm your enemies, it looks like they're going to be able to do the same to you. If an enemy hits you hard enough, they're going to be able to disarm you from the weapon you currently have equipped. And just like Ghost of Tsushima, where those different stances had different utilization against certain enemy types, it's going to be the same thing with the different weapons that you use. So when you're fighting an enemy that's bigger, you want to use the long blade, the odachi. Whereas if an enemy is using spears, dual swords seem to be the most effective in combat. And what I think is also really cool is it looks like enemies can sometimes switch to different weapons on the fly as well. So when you're in the middle of like a boss fight, there's going to be a lot more going on than just dodge and attack. You might remember as well that there was a skill in Ghost of Tsushima that allowed you to do like multi takedowns when you're in stealth. That's coming back here in Ghost of Yōtei as well. Kind of similar actually to the fear takedowns from Batman Arkham Knight. You do have a wolf companion in this game. They didn't go too much into detail of what you can do with this wolf, but we did see another duel where, again, you have to wait for your opponent to attack and then hit them first, and it looks like you can actually do that side by side with the wolf. It was sick as hell, dude. In Ghost of Yōtei, you can set up a camp wherever you are, and sometimes you'll actually have travelers that join you. Sometimes if you let these travelers sit down with you, they'll actually have something to give you. Although I am sure there are going to be some times where you let a person sit down at the campfire with you and they're up to no good. Instead of having the journal from Ghost of Tsushima, now there is something in the menu known as the wolf pack. As you meet people throughout the open world, your wolf pack is going to grow, and this is an easy way for you to keep track of these different characters, things that they offer, and things that they can help you with. And as you set up your campfires around the world while you're building out your wolf pack, sometimes a member of that wolf pack will be the one to sit down with you and offer you some upgrades. They also gave us a quick glimpse at some of the gear and customization options that are going to be available in this game, all the different ways that you can make your weapons look, which is awesome, but also you can apply charms to certain pieces of gear, and that's going to upgrade some effects like perfect parries or perfect dodges. And depending on how you want to apply these changes to the character is going to be based on how you want to play the game, whether that's to be more stealthy, range focused, or just combat heavy. Let's also not forget to mention that you'll look damn cool too. They are bringing back photo mode in Ghost of Yōtei. I think Ghost of Tsushima has the best photo mode in any video game literally ever. I mean, it's so good. I'm glad that they're bringing it back in Ghost of Yōtei. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they've innovated on what was already for me like the perfect photo mode. Unlike the launch of Ghost of Tsushima, not what it ended up being, but the launch of Ghost of Tsushima, this game will have Japanese subtitles and lip syncing on day one. That was a feature that came later for Ghost of Tsushima, and I was so glad that it did, but it's going to be available right away with Ghost of Yōtei, which is awesome. Kurosawa mode is also returning in Ghost of Yōtei, which is amazing. I mean, this is one of the most fun ways to play Ghost of Tsushima. It's so cinematic, and I'm so glad they're bringing it back. But they are not stopping there. There's also now a Miike mode, or Takashi Miike mode. It has the camera closer in on you, and there's more blood and mud. If you're looking for something that's incredibly cinematic in that way, something that's a bit more brutal, I imagine this is the type of way you're gonna want to play. In fact, I might end up wanting to play this way. I think I wouldn't want the camera to be so close, but to have it be bloodier, I'm down for that. That sounds so cool. And then there's also the Watanabe mode. This has lo-fi beats playing during your exploration and combat in Ghost of Yōtei. I might play this either after I've beaten the game or when I'm just wanting to randomly explore the open world. It feels like it'd be just a great way to kind of vibe and just enjoy everything this game has to offer. They capped off the show by revealing not one, but two limited edition PS5s and DualSense controllers for Ghost of Yōtei. One that has that white and gold just like Atsu's mask, and one that's white and black. Listen, I love my Spider-Man PS5 covers, but this might actually be the best limited edition PS5 we have gotten so far this console generation. The good news is, if you just want the covers, if you already have a PS5 Slim or a PS5 Pro and you don't want to get the whole limited edition, they are selling the covers separately. The bad news is, if you're someone like me who only has a base PS5 and not a PS5 Slim or PS5 Pro, well, you're out of luck. I know my wallet is hurting just looking at my options right now. And that's it. Ghost of Yōtei looks phenomenal. I cannot wait for this game. That state of play gave me everything that I needed out of this game, and hopefully I was able to break it down for you well enough for you to catch some things you might have missed and just overall get a good idea of what we can expect from this game. I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.